Other Victor Pross speaking to you, anarchist artist. Okay, today I'd like to talk about things that are tragic and funny. Things that are tragic and funny. Okay, as a lot of you may know, I am a caricaturist artist, leaning towards sometimes very black satire, but sometimes just basic, lighthearted fun. And in regards to my approach to caricature and art, which can be found accumulated in a book called Icons and Idols, Pop Goes the Culture. There's a postcard size of my book, and it adorns Jack Nicholson on the cover, and it's a book that basically pokes fun at popular culture, not just in the realm of entertainment, but culture as a whole, whether that be the family, politics, religion, modern mores, what have you. You know, it's an all encompassing stab and poking fun at popular culture. It also has pays a dubious homage to it as well. So in that sense, you might think that I'm conflicted. I poke fun at things, and but I can also at the same time pay homage to that very same thing. Not all the time. Sometimes it's just a savage attack, all on its own. But at the same time too, it's a really weird mixture and bouillabaisse of homage and poking fun at things, and sometimes just raw savage attacks. Just to give you an idea. One thing that I find funny and tragic, well, I mean, would be Barack Obama. Look at the laws that are being passed. Look what this tyrant is doing, and look at the wars that he's brought the American people into, and yet he won the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, I just find this delicious. I find it tragic, and I find it hilarious. Okay, I find it hilarious. This is the type of world that we live in. And as an artist, as a satirist artist, as a caricaturist, this is the type of thing that I hone into. Just to pick out these little gems and blow them up, so that to the point where hopefully that you can't miss the point. And now moving along that same lines, though, there's look at the absurdity of Barack Obama's position. Wins the Nobel Peace Prize. This warmongering tyrant won the Nobel Peace Prize. Just let that stew around in your mental cavity. Swish it around, just like you took some Listerine, you swish it around your mouth. So just take that thought and swish it around in your mind to behold how tragic and how pathetic and how funny that is. Okay? It's a definite humorous aspect there, all intermixed with the tragedy of that. So now this moves me along to a certain individual by the name of Sharon Presley, who is a libertarian. Okay, and now she's taken it upon herself to launch these attacks against anarchist philosopher Stefan Molyneux. Okay, and the pinpoint of one attack is his stand on the non-aggression principle. Okay, now keep in mind, she's a libertarian, and she's taking to task Stefan Molyneux, outspoken anarchist philosophy, consistent philosopher who stands on basic fundamental ethical principles, and she takes, which is the non-aggression principle, and she takes that to task. To quote, Stefan Molyneux pompously tries to take the moral high ground by redefining good as only agreeing with the non-aggression principle. Black and white. Good, agreeing with non-aggression principle. Bad, not agreeing with non-aggression principle. Good, being a libertarian. Bad, not being a libertarian. That's not exactly right there. Stefan doesn't come from the approach of that. Are you a libertarian? No? Fuck you. No, it's not that simplistic, right? So it's complete misrepresentation. And then she continues, I may not be a philosopher, but I have taught critical thinking. Yeah. And I know bullshit. I know a bullshit false dichotomy when I hear one. Okay, a bullshit false dichotomy. Okay, okay. Well, you know what? I just might be a lowly, despicable caricature artist. I might not have a PhD, but a false dichotomy, non-aggression principle, not having the non-aggression principle. Okay, okay, I'm going to try real hard. I know I'm just an artist. I don't have a PhD, but could somebody please explain to me what is in between violence and peace? I mean, violence, peace. Could somebody explain to me what is like, in between that? I know I'll try real hard, and maybe somebody at the same time could explain to me the murky gray areas between murder and leaving people in peace, leaving them alone. Okay, murder and leaving them alone. I'm just trying to find out what the difference is, because it's a false dichotomy, right? And we don't want to be extremists, right? We want to find that middle ground, that comfortable gray, murky, middle of the road ground, And maybe at the same time too, somebody could explain to me the ambiguity between rape and making love. Okay, and just taking this murkiness as wisdom. This is the type of mindset that we're in the middle of right now. That if you take any absolute positions, that makes you a religionist, right? That makes you a metaphysical dictator, right? So we got to pray. Oh, praise the relativism, right? Because if you're if you take a certain absolute stand on anything, that makes you a metaphysical dictator. Doesn't matter what that is, right? It's just the absolutism itself, in and of itself, is the thing that's bad, let alone what you're extreme about. So extreme health is bad, okay? Extreme love is bad. Extreme non-aggression principle. We can't have too much of that. Can't exercise that all the time, right? Mutual cooperation, mutual trade. Not initiating physical force against each other. You don't want to be an extremist, right? You don't want to be an extremist, right? Okay. Yeah, so, and she announces quite rightly that, and look at this, I may not be a philosopher, but I've taught critical thinking skills. I know a bullshit false dichotomy when I hear one. This is what cultists and religious fanatics do. You see this, you can see the error in thinking right there. Any type of absolute moral stand makes you a religionist, because we know the religionists to be absolutist when it comes to their religious beliefs. So it's not the content of the belief; it's how you hold them. If you take a most definite stand, that makes you a religionist. Now that's not to say that there's nothing wrong in and of that of itself, though. But what can change up one's view on things? What can be introduced that can change one's views? Well, that would be evidence, okay? Physical evidence, okay? Proof, okay? The scientific method, okay? Ideas can be overturned, but they're only overturned not because some kind of religious or some kind of emotional fancy happens to capture you. Something tags right into your emotional fancy. That's not something that's good, though. But sure, we change our mind on certain things. But certain things, though, like the non-aggression principle, which has been called axiomatic, is firmly rooted in its seat. So there's nothing wrong with holding to that as steadfast. Okay, it's been vigorously defined, and it's been proven the world over, for all ages, the world over, globally, wherever the non-aggression principle has been applied, peace and prosperity has been the result. Okay, when you take that away, the polar opposite, there is the other opposite, which is aggression and violence. You take that away, it's just to the misery of all, okay? So, don't forget, she's a libertarian, and she's a PhD. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. She's a PhD. Sharon Presley has a PhD. Thank you. Victor Pross, anarchist artist, signing out. Pop Culture.